Yeah, if there was one word to describe this entire film, I would say it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Kate.
I'm Elena.
And we are the Illiterate Critics.
Today we're reviewing...
And that's gonna fly in, like we're having like a doo-doo-doo Warcraft. Warcraft is directed by Duncan Jones and stars a fake Paul Rudd.
Warcraft is based off the video game that has existed for probably as long as I was born. Yeah. So let's talk about Warcraft.
Well, to start off with some good points, you can tell that the people that made it cared. It definitely wasn't a quick throwaway.
The movie was made for the people who played Warcraft.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it. The movie was not made for newbies. I am an avid gamer, but I have not once touched Warcraft, so I know jack shit about it. But I could tell that it was a love letter. You know, it was made for the fans.
Yeah.
And I think if you're a fan of Warcraft, you might enjoy it. I don't know the Warcraft lore. I figured there would have been more conflict than just the orcs and the humans.
It was presented as if you knew all the backstory.
Right.
They give you one sentence of exposition that they've been fighting forever. And then you just launched into the movie and you're expected to just go with it.
Right, yeah. Like, as soon as the movie starts, we're introduced to an orc and his beautiful wife. And they're expecting a Shrek. It throws you in there. Like, you're immediately greeted by this orc woman's face. And I'm sure she's beautiful in her own species. But it was very awkward.
This is what we signed up for. Orcs having babies. Let's do this. There were some funny moments that I genuinely laughed. That I think were supposed to be funny. I mean, there were some times I laughed, it wasn't supposed to be funny. But there were some times when I was legitimately laughing. There's this little, like, wizard boy. He, like, just said he didn't want to go to Hogwarts, and so he didn't want to be a wizard anymore. He was funny sometimes. He reminded me of Podrick from Game of Thrones.
I can't say that I laughed at the parts that were supposed to be funny.
Oh, no, not all of them. Just,
but, it was pretty fucking hilarious. At some parts. So, before we start going into spoiler territory, I would just say that it was kind of a messy movie. The CGI didn't look good. Everything looked really blurry. I had a couple of gripes with the cinematography. There were a lot of fast shots that didn't really make any sense. Like, you would be focused on one person's face while they were in the midst of doing something, and then it would cut. And I was like, but why was I focused on that person's face? I didn't get it. There was a lot of scenes where you see somebody doing something in the background. Like, there was this one scene towards the end of the movie, this isn't really a spoiler, but they get transported somewhere else, and in the background you just see, like, one of the actors, like, kind of stand up, and he starts, like, walking towards the camera. And it just looked really awkward. And a lot of the,
Again, going with that theme of uncomfortable, like, there's just a lot of things that don't make sense.
Right.
Narratively and, like, within the making the film.
I didn't think the fighting choreography was all that great either. It looked fake.
Like, you know when you watch an action sequence and you get really excited? There was no, like, ooh, I wonder who's gonna win. Like, I didn't care about any of these characters. Mm-hmm. They felt extremely underdeveloped. We'll get into spoilers. Do I get into spoilers?
Yeah, I think we should get into spoilers.
Okay. The only real character development moment is when the main, like, man, Paul Rudd, his son gets murdered. And we've only had 2 scenes where we've established that this man has a son, and that's his son.
And we don't even learn what, like, his deal is with his son until after the son is dead.
Yeah, you just know he has a son, and I don't know, I didn't really care, so that didn't matter to me, and then his entire arc is kind of based on that. None of the characters really had any personality aside from, like, the little magic boy, and I liked him.
I liked the morals that the orcs had. I thought that was interesting, but they didn't do anything with it, and in the end, the 2 main orcs, they fucking die.
Yeah, they just kill, the main orc that we've been following from the beginning, who's played by Dr. Doom from Fantastic. They kill does his best friend die too? I think his best friend dies too. His orc wife just gets stabbed and is dead. They send
his little orc baby.
They basically Moses this baby. They straight up put this baby in a basket and send it down a river. It is an orc Moses. Hashtag Orc Moses. Setting up the sequel that they're probably going to get because they made like $5 billion in China.
When it came to who was winning and who was losing, I didn't really understand why the orcs went to war with the humans in the first place, because they kind of said it straight up in the beginning that the orcs and the humans had no reason to be fighting, that they had to go against something bigger than, like, humanity.
Yeah, it was just like,
you remember that?
Yeah, they're like, we've been fighting forever. It's just what it is. I think it's because the evil guy was like, I don't know.
Who was the evil guy?
Yeah, and, like, the evil guy lives, and I guess the whole point is, like, in the sequel, the Moses baby is gonna come back and fight the evil guy. No one won. And, like, I can deal with, like, a not happy ending, but it's clear that they're trying to set it up for a sequel but I don't want to see a sequel because I don't care about any of these characters at all.
What they should have done, in my opinion, is like as the movie started, they should have like had like a little history lesson for like those of us that don't know the lore. Cause okay, my thing with adaptations is that yes, you're making a movie from a source that already exists, and you're making that movie mostly for the fans. But the thing is that you should also have it accessible to non-fans.
If they had cut that opening scene, I don't think it would have helped or hurt the movie in any way. It would have helped because it would have been over sooner.
That's another thing. It kept fading out to black. Fading to black, which is like...
Okay, it's over.
Made no sense.
It made not no sense. Over. I like the wizard guy. Like the big bad wizard guy turned straight up into the devil at the end. That was real cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so he had like this giant clay monster and it was like glowing green. Because like green magic is bad. That's literally what I learned. Green magic is bad, blue magic is good. Mm-hmm. And so this like clay creature starts like glowing green, and it looked just like Dr. Doom from Fantastic.
It did.
So if you have any creatures that look like Dr. Doom in Fantastic, it's a sign of a bad time.
The clay monster itself, I know it was supposed to look like this newbie's clay creation, but it just looked fake, bad. It didn't look good. I was like, I'm not really intimidated by this guy.
It looked like it hadn't finished rendering. Like,
yes, that's exactly it. And then he like put his arm in the blue goop, and then it looked like he was done.
Yeah, but okay, so the giant like golem sticks his like fist and like
it was green at the time.
Yeah, it was because it was evil.
Yeah.
So he sticks his hand in like the slime, and then it turns like black. We're like, oh, is he defeated? No, he just has a black arm now. It did nothing. None of this movie made sense.
No. And then the ending when the king gets stabbed by the orc girl, and then she's like a savior amongst her orc people.
But it doesn't do anything because, like, I guess the king's point is, like, then you can lead the orcs to help the humans, but the evil guy still wasn't listening to her, and he's been proven to be the most powerful.
The plot was bad. The cinematography was bad. The CGI was bad. It wasn't a good time. There were no, like, real jokes. I felt like the cute little wizard boy, he had a few funny moments, but it didn't
redeem it at all.
It didn't redeem it, no.
Like, he tried real hard, little boy.
I like high fantasy. I love Lord of the Rings. I don't want to compare it to that. But I love video games that take place in that kind of universe. I don't play Warcraft because I'm not much of an online gamer. Like, it didn't translate well enough into, like, a movie. It felt like I was watching a giant cutscene maybe from the movie itself, from the game itself. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Even like when the ending happened and I was like begging for the movie to be over, I was just like, what? That was it?
Yeah. Okay, I guess it's over. We didn't really learn anything or go anywhere. I guess the main antagonist was the bad magic dude. Yeah. I guess. I don't know.
They had scenes with like the higher up people that were like in the literal clouds. I didn't get their deal.
Yeah, and okay, so like the little magic boy goes into like essentially like a tesseract, and like he talks to some like woman in a cloak that's like, I used the last of my magic to bring you here.
That came out of nowhere.
I have no idea who she is. I don't think they set her up.
She was in the library.
Oh yeah,
but like,
oh yeah, his magic like what is it? This like Go Spidey Go. Yeah, he had like a magic metal detector. It was literally beeping and glowing as he got closer to the magic he needed.
Okay, so we're gonna start at like a 5 because we feel that each movie in itself deserves to be like in the middle, and then we give it points based on or against what it did good or bad. Starting this movie at a 5, I would give it a 4.
Yeah, like it's clear that the people that made it cared about it. Like Yui Bowl just doing like a tax scheme trying to get money. Like they actually cared.
Yeah, they like it was so Warcraft that I didn't get it. Like only people who played the game would get it.
There was just so much against it. Like there was nothing made sense in the narrative or like cutting directing choices. I couldn't see anything that was happening. Like it wasn't even like bad fun. I give it like a 3.5.
That's our Warcraft review. I would say if you want to have like a good high fantasy time, maybe go see it.
If you like the games, see it.
Yeah, if you like the games, see it.
If not, wait till it comes out on like streaming on Netflix or something, Amazon, and watch it with your friends at home, so you can like be like, what the fuck is happening, and no one will shush you.
There were only 4 people in our theater.
Yeah. So that gives you an idea of how well it's doing here.
Yeah.
If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and leave a comment below of something else you'd like to see us do.
My thing with adaptations, I'm illiterate.